What Victor Francis saw when going downtown in San Diego as a vice squad officer, it will help you to understand the dramatic episodes that faced the Buono family. On 3rd Avenue and F Street downtown, there were approximately 41 bars, dance clubs, tattoo parlors, sleazy hotels, small cafes, and businesses. Here are a few of their names: Gold Rail, Hula Hoot, Cuckoo Club, Alaho Club, Black and Gold Room, Jade Club, Glub Royale, Tattoo Studio, Horton Hotel, Elgin Hotel, Rainbow Garden, Little Italy Cafe, Playroom, Washington Hotel, and Spaghetti Joe's, and many others throughout downtown San Diego. During 1942 to 1946, downtown San Diego was a military playground for thousands of drunken sailors, Army soldiers, and ready-to-fight Marine Corps men, drinking, dancing, fighting, and searching for as much sex as they could find from cheap prostitutes and homosexuals in secretive, darkened club rooms. In those years, it was illegal for two men to be dancing together or holding hands and kissing or engaging in any kind of same-sex activities. Although illegal, there were places for homosexuality, and if any San Diego Vice Squad officer witnessed anyone in the act, they would be immediately arrested and taken down to the city jail. This playground for the military and any other citizens was open 7 days a week and stretched into the early hours every month and every year. Most of the owners of these downtown bars, clubs, and cafes were run by Italian Americans, just like Tony Mirabli's Rainbow Gardens. It was the San Diego Vice Squad's responsibilities to keep a close eye over every single business in that downtown section, and it was known at times that certain Vice Squad officers turned their eyes away when a crime was being performed, and the club owner would put money into the Vice Squad officer's hand, called being on the take. Frank Sinatra had a brief role in the MGM motion picture Till the Clouds Roll By, starring June Allison, Judy Garland, and Van Heflin. It hit the theaters on December 5th, 1946, and the film was directed by Richard Worf. With 1947 ushering in, it welcomed Craig Knoll back into the Old Globe Theater in San Diego after spending 4 years of his life in the U.S. Army during World War II, and he was working for a short time at 20th Century Fox as a dialogue director overseeing their screen tests for up-and-coming stars and starlets. Knoll not only returned in 1947, but he remained at the Old Globe Theater for the rest of his life. Victor Charles was now 8 years old, and he would meet his mentor, Craig Knoll, in his near future. Actress Joan Crawford was now being shown on the silver screens in the Warner Brother motion picture Possessed, starring Van Heflin and Raymond Macy. Originally, Jack Warner had given Joan Crawford's role to Bette Davis, which Davis had to refuse because she was pregnant, and soon gave birth to her daughter, Barbara Davis Sherry. Possessed was released on July 26, 1947, and it was a good thing Joan Crawford didn't win an Oscar, for if she had, Davis would have died right on the spot. Still, learning the ropes of being a competent motion picture director, assistant director Robert Aldridge worked on the film Body and Soul, starring John Garfield, Lily Palmer, and Hazel Brooks. It was released to the public on November 9, 1947. With each motion picture Aldridge worked on, it brought him closer to directing Whatever Happened to Baby Jane in 1962, Four for Texas in 1963, and Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte in 1964. And within these three motion pictures, Victor Charles Buono was introduced to the rest of the world. There was a substantial social upgrade for Victor Francis when moving his family to 4317 Alter Drive in Kensington, California in 1947. Kensington is a small upper-class community outside of the San Diego city where various mafia figures lived. At that time, he was still a San Diego Vice Squad officer, and he would have already been introduced to Tony Mirabile by that time. There are no official documents of Victor Francis ever being on the take by receiving money or gifts from Tony Mirabile, but it surely raises suspicions because of their close relationship. For the next 2 years leading up to 1950, there was many changes going on within Victor Francis's life and career as being a Vice Squad officer and his association with Tony Mirabile. It was at that time when the Buono family was entering into an underworld that would take Victor Francis into depths that he never would have ever imagined before. Soon, 1948 came into view, and young Victor Charles was now 9 years old. It was perfectly clear now that he stood over his childhood friends as proof from his height and heavier weight. He must have had a searing concern knowing he was different from his peers by having to deal with their fascinated stares and whispers about him. Victor Charles' mental challenges from the cause of his physical separation from others must have been a frightening struggle with his emotions. So-called normal kids never had to face those types of physical conditions that Victor Charles did, and his defensive rationalizations must have been in high gear and forging his mindset that he would always carry for the rest of his adult life.